What's up, guys? Adrian Conway here. And in this Brute Shoot, we're talking about new year, new you, right? Or New Year's resolutions or New Year's goals, or just goals and expectations in general. As an athlete or as a coach, this is something that I deal with often from an internal perspective and then also an external perspective. I get to oversee and coach, a ton of athletes from across the world. And inevitably, this is a discussion, whether it's an email, on a live chat, on a phone call. Coach, how do I manage my expectations? Coach, what kind of goals should I have going into this next year? I want to talk about that just a little bit. And I'm going to keep it very general. I want this to be something that a lot of you guys can apply into your life, whether you're a competitive athlete, whether you're a CEO at a business, whether you're whatever you are, right? And here's a little history to add to what I'm about to discuss. I used to be anti-New Year, New You. I used to be anti New Year's resolutions and goals. And the reason was because I just couldn't understand why people always felt like they needed to wait till the next calendar year to make change, right? And the first thing that I want to do is empower you to understand that it's not the calendar year that's going to make or break you, your goals or who you are. But it is a good opportunity to set new ones. So forgive me if I seemed anti-New Year's resolutions and goals, because I kind of used to be. But with perspective, I can understand them. And so if this is you out there and you're setting these new goals and these New Year's resolutions, understand that you don't have to be perfect, first of all, right? But where do we start when we talk about this? The first thing that I would do is make sure that your goals reflect an internal based motivation. So what that could look like from a CrossFit perspective is make it a measurable thing that you can achieve, right? And not based off of someone else. So while this is a really common thing, hey coach, this year I'm going to make it to regionals. Hey coach, this year I want to make it to the CrossFit Games. I don't want to finish 31st at the CrossFit Games this year. I want to finish in the top 20. I want to finish in the top 10. These are expectations that athletes put on themselves on a regular day-to-day, right? The downside is you can't control what the community is doing. You can't control how hard I'm working on my goals. And we've touched on this in previous Brute Shoots, but it just can't go unsaid because people, for some reason, can't rationalize this enough and understand that it has to be about you. So a better goal than making it to regionals is, okay, coach, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a goal to overhead squat 350 this year. What does that look like? I'm going to set a goal to run a 5:30 mile this year. What does that look like? And when I say what does that look like, that means you have to also understand where you're coming from. So you're setting a goal to overhead squat 350 this year and your overhead squat's 225. That might be a little bit distant or that might be a ways off. Maybe let's tackle 250 first. And then we can hit the next increment and the next increment and work our way to that 350, right? I'm not trying to have you guys limit your goals or have a vision for yourself that seems to be, governed or handicapped in any way, but also you just got to make sure that they're realistic. Or otherwise, you're just setting yourself up for failure and not success. The other thing is that it doesn't have to be an all-in or all-out mentality, right? So a lot of people are like, I'm going to work out every day this year. And you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. When's the last time that you worked out? And they're like, oh, it was like 3 months ago. Okay, so let's just work out tomorrow, right? And let's work on setting small goals and creating a check mark on the calendar and then building another check mark the following day and then continuing to amass this theme and creating these habits from within ourselves and then chasing that on a day-to-day basis. So even though on a macro scale you really want to make these large changes, don't be afraid to break it down to a micro scale so that it's something that's much more achievable to you and also gives you some wiggle room. Because I'm going to be honest, I'm not perfect, right? And I've often set goals that were a little bit high, and then when I didn't meet them, I felt like a complete failure. And instead of sucking it up and moving forward or meeting myself where I was at, I was just like, I didn't make it anyway, so who cares? I guess I'm not going to do it. Right? And then I failed it way before I even got the ball rolling in order to succeed or chase it down. Another thing, and it's really common in the fitness community, is don't always base your goals off of physicality, right? And what I mean by physicality is like always the body fat measurement, and always the lean body mass gain, and always the X, Y, and Z that only appear to be based off the superficial, right? The superficial body is going to follow your performance ability. And I wholeheartedly believe that. The CrossFit community really opened my eyes to that as I started diving into wanting to run faster, wanting to jump higher, wanting to lift more. I chase those things wholeheartedly. And what do you know? The physique starts to follow, right? Like in order to get stronger, you've got to build lean body mass. In order to get better at body weight movements like gymnastics and be able to run further and row further distances and swim, you've got to build lean body mass and lose body fat, right? And then all these things will start to align if you keep your focus on chasing the performance. And it's a lot of the same way with even your nutritional goals. It's like fuel your body so that you can recover on a day-to-day basis and set goals in order to do that, and the results physically are going to follow, right? This often frees your mentality from standing on the scale every day, or it frees your mentality from needing to pinch yourself or always take a picture and check it on a day-to-day basis, right? Step back, focus on the numbers. Are the numbers going up? Yes, you're doing a great job. You are going to be physically, from a physique standpoint, following that performance, right? And it might take time, and it might take you forgetting about it or trying to ignore it for a while and then checking up again and seeing the success, but that's my suggestion. So guys, when it comes to setting goals, when it comes to setting New Year's resolutions, right? First, meet yourself where you're at. Focus on you, and then make sure that you continue to chase performance and the long-term goal of consistently chasing your goals and resolutions and not just being an all-in or all-out mentality where you got no chance to make it, right? Compliance and consistency is what's gonna help you make your goals. So have that perspective. You guys sit down, and my last suggestion is put it to paper, right? Write it down, think it out, share it with some friends. That's what's really gonna make it real. And then surround yourself with people that are gonna empower you to chase that goal wholeheartedly and make it happen.